I've heard the argument that it's worthless to grade draft picks immediately after they are made, but I don't agree. Keep in mind that my quick snap grades for the 2019 NFL Draft are not based on how I expect a player's career to progress over the next 4 or 5 years. No one knows what the future holds. These grades are, however, an evaluation of the process each team undertook to select the players they did, and whether each selection from this weekend is of appropriate value given the player's performance in college and overall athleticism. Taking this snapshot now also gives a baseline evaluation of teams' decision-making processes. If a prospect is considered a great pick on the day of the draft, but ultimately doesn't pan out in the league, that's a completely different evaluation of his new team's decision than identifying a player who was considered a reach at the time he was picked. Waiting for 3 years to grade these picks leads to revisionist history, not an accurate evaluation of a decision that was based on what was known when the player was selected. Note, these grades are submitted immediately after each day of the draft. As my analysis continued over the weekend, some grades were adjusted. Selections and trades in the early rounds carry a heavier weight in the overall grade than those in the later rounds. AFC East Buffalo Bills draft picks: Houston DT Ed Oliver, number 9 overall; Oklahoma at Cody Ford, number 38; Florida Atlantic Air Bay Devin Singletary, no. 74, Mississippi Tate Dawson Knox, no. 96, Florida Pound Vossian Joseph, number 147, Miami S. Jaquan Johnson, number 181, North Carolina A&T Edge Darrell Johnson, number 225, Boston College Tate Tommy Sweeney, no. 228 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, B+ overall grade, a draft analysis. Buffalo got nice value in the top 10 by eschewing trade offers to take Oliver. He can play inside or outside for the Bills because of his athleticism, putting pressure on quarterbacks and disrupting run plays on a regular basis. Ty Nsekhe was a solid swing tackle pickup in free agency, but trading up to select Ford early in the second round, giving up just a fifth-rounder in the deal, gives the Bills their future starting right tackle, although Ford could slide inside to guard if injuries to others dictate the move. Despite having LeSean McCoy, Frank Gore and T.J. Yeldon in tow, the Bills decided Singletary's short area quickness was worthy of their third-round pick as the team's future at the position. After all, Gore and McCoy are both in their 30s. Knox is an athletic former quarterback who could be a worthy project in time. Vossian Joseph provides speed at the second level, which the Bills needed. Jaquan Joseph is a pure football player who isn't big or fast but instinctual. He'll play for a long time. Finding Sweeney in the 7th round really bolstered the thin Tate depth chart. Miami Dolphins draft picks: Clemson DT Christian Wilkins, number 13 overall; Wisconsin OG Michael Dieter, number 78; Wisconsin Pound Andrew Van Ginkel, number 151; Ohio State Isaiah Prince, no. 202, Auburn FB Chandler Cox, no. 233, Washington Air Bay Myles Gaskin, no. 234 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Wilkins is a quality person and an excellent player with the versatility to play anywhere on the line. The team never really replaced Ndamukong Suh, and Wilkins has the ability to be really disruptive inside. We absolutely take the Friday acquisition of Josh Rosen into account in this grade. Landing the second-year QB for a late second-round pick this year and 2020 fifth-rounder was an absolute bargain. Trading down in round 2 in a deal with the Saints before making the Rosen deal was also a great move. Dieter meets an important need at guard, especially with Rosen in place. Van Ginkel is still growing as a player, but he has real potential as a pass rusher. Prince will get a chance to play at right tackle as a rookie, though he'll need to be more consistent to earn the job. Gaskin is not exceptional in any area but will be tough to cut. New England Patriots draft picks: Arizona State WR and N'Keal Harry, no. 32 overall, Vanderbilt CB Joejuan Williams, no. 45, Michigan to Chase Winovich, number 77, Alabama Air Bay Damian Harris, number 87, West Virginia at Yodien Waikahuste, number 101, Arkansas Ojibwal Froholt, no. 118, Auburn QB Jarrett Stidham, no. 133, Maryland Byron Cowart, number 159, Stanford P. Jake Bailey, number 163, Mississippi CB Ken Webster, no. 252, Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, a overall grade, a draft analysis. When Rob Gronkowski had to move outside in the playoffs this past season, it was pretty clear that New England needed a reliable big receiver to win downfield. Harry should meet that need quite well. The Patriots' interest in Williams was not a well-kept secret. He had the versatility they needed in the secondary. Giving up a third-round pick to go get him was not a Belichickian type move, but if they had a first-round grade on him, I won't blame them for making the deal. They found a steal in Winovich in the third round. He's the type of high-motor, versatile lineman who will be a factor early on. Harris is an all-around talent who is worthy of a selection 20 picks earlier than his drafting spot. Cajuste has injury issues and doesn't have the greatest feet, but he could work his way into starting at right tackle. Froholt is an athletic and tough-minded Dane who fits the Patriots' way. Bill Belichick hopes that he can work Stidham into another strong-arm pocket passer. Choosing him was a solid value in the fourth round. Cowart and Webster add depth to the defense. Ryan Allen had the 19th-ranked net punting average in the league last year, so his days are numbered with Bailey in the fold. New York Jets draft picks, Alabama DT Quinn and Williams, no. 3 overall, Florida OLBJ Keiple, number 68, USC Achuma Edoga, number 92, West Virginia Tatravon Wesco, number 121, Minnesota Pound Blake Cashman, no. 157, Rutgers CB Blesu in Austin, no. 196 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Williams was a dominant player at Alabama and will be a thorn in the side of NFL offensive lines. New defensive coordinator Greg Williams wanted an interior presence whether he calls in 3 or 4-man fronts, and Williams is all of that. Jets fans may have been looking for an outside pass rusher in round 1, but it's tough to fault them for taking Williams. Polite's tape shows he has both power and bent to terrorize NFL quarterbacks. If he proves himself to be a professional, the Jets will have the steal of the draft. If Edoga is healthy and has his head on straight, he'll be an effective pass protector and nasty in the run game, much like the Jets' Kelvin Beachum. Note that the team gave up its second-round pick this year in last year's trade to land Sam Darnold, and that deal should pay off. Wesco will block and receive for the Jets. Cashman brings athleticism to the linebacker core, and Austin would have been picked on Day 2 of this draft if not for a knee injury. AFC North Baltimore Ravens draft picks, Oklahoma WR Marquise Brown, number 25 overall, Louisiana Tech OLBJ Allen Ferguson, number 85, Notre Dame WR Miles Boykin, no. 93, Oklahoma State RB Justice Hill, no. 113, Oklahoma OG Ben Powers, number 123, USC CB Iman Marshall, number 127, Texas A&M DT Dalen Mack, number 160, Penn State QB Trace McSorley, no. 197 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Multiple NFL general managers told me they would have a hard time picking Brown, a 166-pound receiver, in the first round. Sure, he lacks size, but his talent reminds me of Deshaun Jackson, who was also under 170 pounds at the NFL scouting combine when he came out. If Brown has that sort of career, the Ravens will have done well. Plus, they gained 2 Day 3 picks, no's. 127 and 197, by trading down 3 spots in a deal with the Eagles and still selecting the guy they likely wanted at no. 22. Ferguson joins former third-round pick Tim Williams as a developing pass rusher for the Ravens. Ferguson could have gone much earlier, so I suspect Baltimore fans will come to appreciate his talents. Adding a larger receiver in Boykin made sense with the lack of wideout depth for Ravens. Hill brings speed and underrated toughness to complement Mark Ingram. Powers could take over for Marshall Yanda as a starter eventually. Marshall was a great pick for Baltimore because they will eventually need to replace Jimmy Smith and Brandon Carr. Mack is yet another spark plug in the middle for the Ravens. McSorley would seem to fit the Ravens' current offense and could contribute at another position, if needed. Cincinnati Bengals draft picks, Alabama at Jonah Williams, no. 11 overall, Washington Drew Sample, no. 52, NC State Pound Jermaine Pratt, number 72, NC State QB Ryan Finley, number 104, Arizona State DT Rennell Wren, number 125, Ohio State C. Michael Jordan, no. 136, Texas A&M Air Bay Travion Williams, no. 182, Auburn Pound Deshaun Davis, no. 210, Oklahoma Air Bay Rodney Anderson, number 211, South Dakota State CB Jordan Brown, no. 223 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, C plus Day 3 grade, overall grade, A draft analysis. Cincinnati desperately needed help at offensive tackle, and Williams proved he can handle playing on the left or right side of Alabama. With both of the top inside linebackers off the board, this pick made a whole lot of sense. Just a solid pick. Sample was considered one of the better combination tight ends, run blocker/receiver, in the draft, and the new Bengals coaching staff wanted that sort of player on the roster. It was probably 2 rounds too early, though. Pratt will be a good inside backer for Cincinnati, which needed to replace Vontaze Burfict. Finley has the chance to be a starter eventually, whether it is in Cincinnati after the Andy Dalton era concludes or with another team via trade. Wren's athleticism is just waiting to be tapped by the right coach. Don't be surprised if he becomes a top-notch starter. Jordan is a guard for the Bengals, who could use an upgrade there. Mark Walton's departure made Williams a must-pick, given his value. Anderson's injury history caused him to fall into the 6th round, but that pick could pay off if he can get healthy. The addition of Brown's coverage ability closed a strong draft for the Bengals. Cleveland Browns draft picks, LSU CB Greedy Williams, number 46 overall, BYU Pound Sion Takataki, no. 80, Miami S. Sheldrick Redwine, no. 119, Alabama Pound Mac Wilson, number 155, Oklahoma K. Austin Siebert, number 170, Southeast Missouri OG Drew Forbes, number 189, Tulane CB Donnie Lewis, no. 221 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, B plus Day 3 grade, overall grade, A draft analysis. To become a legitimate playoff contender in the AFC, the Browns needed another offensive weapon. They were certainly not likely to find a player of Odell Beckham's caliber available to them at no. 17, the first-round pick they sent to the Giants in the OBJ swap. Giving up a late third-round pick and safety Jabril Peppers as part of the deal was not exorbitant, either, and Cleveland signed veteran Morgan Burnett to help replace Peppers. The Browns made their pick in this year's draft on Friday night, as GM John Dorsey parted with a 5th-round pick to move up 3 spots for Williams, who will be a factor in coverage early in his career with Cleveland. Takataki is a solid linebacker prospect who will contribute it right away. He had varying grades across the league, though. Redwine's versatility made him worth a 4th-round selection, and Wilson was a big value in the 5th round. Siebert was the best kicker in the draft. Forbes could play tackle or guard for the Browns. Lewis was a good find in the 7th. Pittsburgh Steelers draft picks, Michigan Pound Devin Bush, no. 10 overall, Toledo WR Deontay Johnson, number 66, Michigan State CB Justin Lane, number 83, Kentucky Air Bay Benny Snell, number 122, Michigan Zach Gentry, no. 141, Northern Illinois Edge Sutton Smith, no. 175, Alabama DT Isaiah Buggs, number 192, Akron Pound Ulysses Gilbert, number 207, Maryland Derwin Gray, no. 219 Day 1 grade, A Day 2 grade, A Day 3 grade, Overall grade, A draft analysis: I was so happy to see two inside linebackers go in the top 10 picks. Bush is worthy of that investment, as he moves like a safety and pounds ball carriers with impunity. The picks they parted with to move up in the deal with the Broncos: Pittsburgh sent them a 2019 seconds-round pick, no, 52, and 2020 third-rounder. Isn't a ridiculous price to pay, but the Steelers could have found a much-needed corner had they stayed at no. 20 and a starting inside backer in the second round, or later. Pittsburgh hopes it found another steal at receiver by picking up Johnson, who has the toughness, hands and quickness to excel. He may have been available later in the draft, but honestly, how can I doubt GM Kevin Colbert's call on a receiver? Lane was a typical Colbert-like value in the third round, and he'll quickly earn playing time. Snell is another powerful runner who will continue to pound defenses when James Conner and Jalen Samuels aren't in the game. Gentry could become a player in time, though there were 4 or 5 other tight ends available with higher grades. The team hopes Gray can eventually take over the right tackle spot. AFC South: Houston Texans draft picks: Alabama State Titus Howard, no. 23 overall, Kentucky CB Lonnie Johnson, no. 54, Northern Illinois Max Sharping, number 55, San Diego State Kyle Waring, number 86, Texas Charles Omenihu, number 161, Central Michigan CB Xavier Crawford, no. 195, Texas A&M Air Cullen Gillespie, no. 220 Day 1 grade, C Day 2 grade, C+ Day 3 grade, overall grade, C+ draft analysis: Howard has the athleticism to succeed in the NFL despite playing at FCS level. Alabama State, he proved that at the Combine and acquitted himself nicely at the Senior Bowl. This really smells like picking for need, although they decided not to reach for their other big need, a cornerback. If Andre Dillard, whom the Eagles traded up to select one spot before the Texans were on the clock, stars in the league and Howard does not, people will wonder why Houston did not go up to get the top left tackle in the draft. Johnson's length and foot quickness earned him fans in the scouting community this year, and the Texans really needed to bolster their secondary. Sharping is a solid tackle, but was taken at least a round earlier than was expected. Waring has great upside as a receiving threat for the Texans. Omenihu's game screamed day 2, rounds 2 to 3, so the Texans got a big break finding him in the 5th round. Houston brought another long corner into the fold in Crawford, and Gillespie will help as a blocker and special teamer. Indianapolis Colts draft picks: Temple CB Rock Yashin, no. 34 overall, TCU OLB Ben Banogu, no. 49, Ohio State WR Paris Campbell, number 59, Stanford Pound Bobby Akereke, number 89, Michigan State Eskari Willis, number 109, USCS Marvel Tell, no. 144, Tarleton State Pound EJ, Speed, number 164, Mississippi State Edge Jerry Green, number 199, Utah Jackson Barton, number 240, Ole Miss Old Javon Patterson, no. 246 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis: the Colts moved out of the first round to pick up a 2020 seconds-round pick, which is the type of move I like. Moving from 26 all the way down to 46 could have taken them out of the running for the best available players on Friday night, but that scenario didn't play out. Yashin could have been picked late in the first round. GM Chris Ballard says he wants to continue to build the defensive line, so finding a pass rusher like Banogu in the second round made sense. Finding Campbell later in the round will be a good value, especially if he continues to grow as a pass catcher and route runner. Akereke can play any of the stack linebacker positions. The Colts added needed depth at pound and safety on Day 3. Getting Barton and Patterson in the 7th round brings competition to the back end of the offensive line depth chart. Jacksonville Jaguars draft picks: Kentucky to Josh Allen, number 7 overall, Florida Juwan Taylor, number 35, Josh Oliver, number 69, Murray State Pound Quincy Williams, no. 98, Temple Airbay Raquel Armstead, no. 140, Washington State QB Gardner Minshew, number 178, Auburn DT Dontavius Russell, no. 235, Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, B Day 3 grade, overall grade, A draft analysis. The Jaguars got great value in Allen, a top 3 talent, at no. 7 overall. They can play him all over the place to wreak havoc as a pass rusher, and he can make plays in coverage, too. It was either Ed Oliver or Allen at this pick, and I can't blame them for going in this direction with former first-round pick Taven Bryan waiting in the wings. Finding Taylor in the second round was a great pick, and the price they paid to move up for him is no big deal given that he was one of the top linemen in the draft. Hope his knees will allow him to maximize his abilities. Oliver will be an effective receiving target for the Jaguars. Williams was an unexpected pick in the third round who probably would have been available later. Armstead went about where I expected, and was a decent find with the Jags in need of a backup behind oft-injured Leonard Fournette. Minshew was a fantastic pick in the sixth round as a young QB who will play in the league. Russell beefs up the inside of the defensive line. Tennessee Titans draft picks, Mississippi State DT Jeffrey Simmons, number 19 overall, Mississippi WR Brown, no. 51, Charlotte OG Nate Davis, no. 82, Iowa Asamani Hooker, number 116, Georgia OLB DeAndre Walker, number 168, West Virginia Pound David Long Jr., no. 188 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. If Simmons had not torn his ACL in February, he would have been picked much higher. Teams believe he has been a model citizen since his 2016 arrest. His physicality and aggressive play give him a shot at being special. Tennessee found great value in Brown in the middle of the second round, adding him to Marcus Mariota's arsenal, which already includes Adam Humphries, Taywan Taylor, and Corey Davis. Davis was projected to go in the third round as a guard, and he could compete for the spot opposite Roger Saffold in 2019 or 2020. The Titans added depth with Hooker, Walker, and Long on Saturday, all three of whom could be starters within 2 years. AFC West Denver Broncos draft picks, Iowa Noah Fant, number 20 overall, Kansas State Old Alton Rissner, number 41, Missouri QB Drew Lock, no. 42, Ohio State DT Drummond Jones, no. 71, Oregon OLB Justin Hollins, number 156, Colorado WR Juwan Winfrey, no. 187, Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Fant is an athletic freak who will stretch defenses. He's not the complete package as a run blocker and receiver in the way former teammate TJ Hawkinson is, but he will be a weapon for veteran Joe Flacco. The Broncos made this pick after trading down in a deal with the Steelers, picking up an extra second-round pick this year, no. 52, and 2020 third-round selection in the deal. They did pass on a chance to pick Devin Bush, who could have been a great addition to the defense, but you can't blame the Broncos for taking the draft capital and running. The Broncos made a splash in round 2, selecting a versatile offensive lineman in Rissner and a fantastic value in Locke. This pairing could be the team's battery for a decade if Rissner lines up inside and the strong-armed Locke allows GM John Elway to move on from Flacco in 2 years. Jones is a 5 technique in the making, at a place where the team needed to add depth. Hollins is a fine pick in the 5th round as a backup pass rusher, something they really coveted, with movement skills to play in coverage. Kansas City Chiefs draft picks, Georgia WR McCole Hardman, number 56 overall, Virginia DB1 Thornhill, number 63, Western Illinois DT Cullen Saunders, no. 84, South Carolina CB Rashad Fenton, no. 201, Utah State Airbay Darwin Thompson, number 214, Illinois OG Nick Allegretti, no. 216 Day 1 grade, B Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, B+ draft analysis. The Chiefs sent 3 picks to the Seahawks for Frank Clark earlier this week. Clearly, They viewed him as a better fit for their new defensive scheme than Dee Ford, who they traded to San Francisco this offseason, and Clark is indeed a superior player. The guaranteed money in his new contract is reportedly all in the first 3 years of the deal, so it's set up to potentially give the Chiefs some salary cap flexibility just as Patrick Mahomes' rookie deal is due to expire. They did give up 2 premium picks to land Clark, no. 29 overall this year, a second-round pick next year, though, and we'll have to hope he stays out of trouble off the field. For some time, I've thought the Tyreek Hill situation might push the Chiefs to pick Hardman in the second round. Recent events: a prosecutor has reopened a child abuse investigation involving Hill, made it clear they needed another potent receiver and returner, and giving up a 5th-round pick to trade up for Hardman was surely an easy decision. Saunders is an excellent backup for Derek Nottie, similar in stature and explosiveness off the ball. Kansas City picked up Fenton to bolster the depth at cornerback, as well as a small but tough back in Thompson. Allegretti can play center or guard for the Chiefs this year, depending on how the team decides to fill the void left by Mitch Morse's departure. Los Angeles Chargers draft picks: Notre Dame DT Jerry Tillery, no. 28 overall, Delaware's Nasir Adderley, number 60, Sioux Falls Trey Pipkins, number 91, Notre Dame Pound Drew Tranquil, number 130, North Dakota State QB Easton Stick, no. 166, Houston OLB Emekig Buell, no. 200, Cincinnati DT Cortez Broughton, no. 242 Day 1 grade, A Day 2 grade, Birthday 3 grade, Boverall grade, B+ draft analysis. The Chargers ignored needs at offensive tackle and in the secondary to address the need at DT in round 1. Tillery is a load when allowed to get upfield, especially when he keeps his hips low to push through blocks. They were apparently not as worried as some teams about the shoulder surgery the tackle had before the draft. Adderley is a versatile cover-free safety prospect who can replace the released Jaleel Addae and will complement Derwin James quite well. Pipkins is a project player who has potential as an offensive tackle but was picked a round or 2 early because they felt the need to find one before day 3. I projected Stick to go to the Chargers in the 6th round, but they jumped on him a round earlier to compete with Tyrod Taylor and Cardale Jones for a roster spot. Tranquil meets a need at linebacker, and Broughton is an active interior defender. Oakland Raiders draft picks: Clemson DeClellan Ferrell, number 4 overall, Alabama ARB Josh Jacobs, no. 24, Mississippi State S. Jonathan Abram, no. 27, Clemson CB Trayvon Mullen, number 40, Eastern Michigan to Max Crosby, number 106, Houston CB Isaiah Johnson, number 129, LSU Tay Foster Moreau, no. 137, Clemson WR Hunter Renfrow, no. 149, Prairie View A&M edge Quinton Bell, number 230, Day 1 grade, B+ Day 2 grade. B+ Day 3 grade, B+ overall grade, B+ draft analysis. They started the day with their highly publicized 3 first-round picks, including 2 received in trades for veteran players: edge Khalil Mack to Chicago, WR Amari Cooper to Dallas. Ferrell is a good player, and it's not surprising the team felt pressure to replace Mack. Ferrell was the next best pure front 4 pass rusher on the board after no. 2 overall pick Nick Bosa, but he came off the board well before most people expected. The Jacobs selection at no. 24 was not a surprise, not only due to his immense talent but also the retirement of Marshawn Lynch. Abram is a very good safety who brings pop and quickness to the secondary. He will be a leader for the Raiders in the future, and it won't be surprising if former first-round pick Carl Joseph is traded to make room for him on the field. Oakland had only 1 pick on Friday night, but used it on Mullen to address a big positional need. Oakland found a high-effort pass rusher in Crosby in the 4th round, as well as an athletic, raw, quick-footed corner in Johnson. Moreau is the receiving tight end the Raiders needed, and Renfrow will be a long-time inside receiver in the league. NFC East Dallas Cowboys draft picks: UCF DT Tristan Hill, no. 58 overall, Penn State OG Connor McGovern, number 90, Memphis Air Bay Tony Pollard, number 128, Miami CB Michael Jackson, number 158, Miami to Joe Jackson, no. 165, Texas A&M's Donovan Wilson, no. 213, Ohio State Air Bay Mike Weber, number 218, Oregon Edge Jalen Jelks, no. 241 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Amari Cooper showed what he could become when teaming with Dak Prescott last year. Yes, Dallas gave up a first-round pick to get him, but let's remember, he's just 24 years old, not a veteran who will be in his 30s before too long. If the team can't sign him to a long-term deal, then the grade gets adjusted downward, but I don't see that happening. Replacing David Irving just got easier with Hill bringing his quick get-off to Dallas. McGovern could play guard or center, depending on the health of veteran pivot Travis Frederick. Pollard's versatility as a runner, receiver, and kick returner made him a solid fourth-round pick. The two Jacksons from Miami are great values. Michael Jackson is a big corner who could take over for Byron Jones if he departs in free agency after the 2019 season, and Joe Jackson is an underrated power rusher. Weber gives the Cowboys another former Buckeye Air Bay. He will take pressure off of Zeke. New York Giants draft picks, Duke QB Daniel Jones, no. 6 overall, Clemson DT Dexter Lawrence, no. 17 overall, Georgia CB DeAndre Baker, number 30 overall, Old Dominion Ocean Means, number 95, Notre Dame CB Julian Love, number 108, Wisconsin Pound Ryan Connolly, no. 143, Auburn WR Darius Slayton, no. 171, Washburn CB Corey Ballantyne, number 180, Kentucky George Asafoah J, number 232, Syracuse DT Chris Slayton, no. 245, Day 1 grade, B Day 2 grade, B Day 3 grade, C+ overall grade, draft analysis. I mentioned Jones as a sensible replacement for Eli Manning back in November. The QB possesses a lot of positive traits, and it was time for the Giants to find a successor for Manning. However, many people do not believe Jones is an elite prospect, so the value of the pick will be questioned until he proves otherwise. They received an extra first-rounder in the trade of Odell Beckham to the Browns, and they selected Lawrence, a massive defensive tackle, with the pick. If he shows the ability to push the pocket as well as provide a wall inside, he'll be a major success. GM David Gettleman moved back into round 1 to pick Baker, the top prospect at a position of need, giving up 2 Saturday picks, which they had a lot of, in the deal. Means should be a great fit for the Giants. He's agile and strong on the edge, where they needed an upgrade. Love and Ballantyne were great values at cornerback. Connolly adds depth at backer. Darius Slayton is a downfield receiver who can help Manning and Jones, while Chris Slayton, no relation, consistently caused troubles for ACC offenses. The Giants picked up the underrated Asafoah J in the 7th round, though the offensive line could have been addressed earlier in the day. Philadelphia Eagles draft picks, Washington State Andre Dillard, number 22 overall, Penn State Air Bay Miles Sanders, number 53, Stanford WRJJ Arcega Whiteside, no. 57, Penn State DeSharif Miller, no. 138, Northwestern QB Clayton Thorson, no. 167, Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Jason Peters has had a great NFL career, but he's 37 years old and his contract is due to expire after next season. Dillard and Lane Johnson will form a great tandem whenever Peters moves on, and giving up a late 4th and 6th rounder to trade up for Dillard was more than acceptable to get an elite pass protector. The Eagles decided not to pick Alabama RB Josh Jacobs in the 1st round, but they got the second best back in the draft in the 2nd round. Sanders will be an impact back who could see his role grow quickly with Jordan Howard due to become a free agent after the 2019 season. Arcega Whiteside will be a red zone stud and general safety valve for Carson Wentz. Miller will offer a strong pass rush for the Eagles despite falling to the end of the 4th round. The Thorson pick made plenty of sense with Wentz coming off injury and Nick Foles gone. Washington Redskins draft picks, Ohio State QB Dwayne Haskins, no. 15 overall, Mississippi State OLB Montez Sweat, no. 26 overall, Ohio State WR Terry McLaurin, number 76, Stanford Air Bay Bryce Love, number 112, Indiana OG Wes Martin, number 131, Alabama C. Ross Bierschbacher, no. 153, North Carolina Pound Cole Holcomb, no. 173, North Carolina State WR Kelvin Harmon, number 206, James Madison CB Jimmy Moreland, number 227, Oklahoma Edge Jordan Brailford, no. 253 Day 1 grade, B+ Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, Overall grade, B+ Draft analysis. The fact that they did not have to move up to get Haskins was a major bonus. His arm is live and he has the ability to distribute the football to all parts of the field. Given the murky future of Alex Smith, finding Haskins waiting for them at no. 15 could prove to be franchise-changing. Finally, Washington traded up to grab Sweat, who will be a fine pass rusher if his heart condition does not prevent him from reaching his potential. They really need a depth at outside linebacker, where Sweat fits quite well. I am generally not enamored with giving up future second-round picks, but this guy's talent is worthy of taking that sort of chance. Haskins' arm and McLaurin's speed will team up to make big plays in Washington as they did in Columbus. If Love's burst can return over the next year, Washington found a strong contributor in the run game. Martin and Bierschbacher fill a major need in the interior offensive line for the Redskins. Brailford is a pass rusher who was a value near the end of the draft. NFC North Chicago Bears draft pick, Iowa State Air Bay David Montgomery, Georgia WR Riley Ridley, number 126, Kansas State CB Duke Shelley, number 205, Florida Atlantic Air Bay Gareth White, no. 222, Valdosta State CB Stephen Denmark, no. 238, Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Khalil Mack was 100% worthy of the Bears' interest. He played lights out in 2018 and I suspect will be a force over the next few seasons, barring injury, which was a bit of a concern last year. There's no question he was worth giving up their 2019 first and 6th round picks, as well as the 2020 third round pick as a sweetener. And parting with a 2020 first round pick and swapping second round picks with the Raiders next year may only be a minimal loss for the Bears if they are a playoff team and Oakland does not greatly exceed its win total from last season. When they were finally on the clock Friday night, they dealt away their second rounder this year in a draft day trade last year to land WR Anthony Miller. The Bears found their new running back in Montgomery, who can carry a heavy workload. They had to give up a 2020 fourth round pick as part of the deal, though. Getting Ridley in the 4th round was an absolute steal. I thought he was a second-round value. Shelley could be a nice slot corner. He hid behind Devin Singletary at FAU, but the Bears thought enough of White to pair him with Montgomery at Air Bay in their draft class. Detroit Lions draft picks, Iowa State T.J. Hawkinson, number 8 overall, Hawaii Pound Jalani Tave, number 43, Boston College D.B. Will Harris, number 81, Clemson Austin Bryant, no. 117, Penn State CB Amani Oruwari, no. 146, Old Dominion WR Travis Fulgham, number 184, Maryland Air Bay Ty Johnson, number 186, Georgia Tay Isaac Nada, number 224, Arizona DT PJ Johnson, no. 229 Day 1 grade, B+ Day 2 grade, Birthday 3 grade, overall grade, draft analysis. I love Hawkinson as a two-way tight end prospect. He will be a strong target for Matthew Stafford and a nice blocker in the run game. But he wasn't the top player available. It was defensive tackle Ed Oliver. Time will tell which way they should have gone with that pick. Tave was picked earlier than expected, much like Kyle Van Noy was a few years ago. Though NFL scouts believe Tavai can become a starter, the Van Noy pick didn't work out for the Lions, but hopey this one will. Trading up for Harris helped the Lions meet a need at safety, and he was an appropriate value. Even with Trey Flowers in the fold, adding another pass rusher in Bryant made a lot of sense. Getting a big corner was a must, so I'm on board with the Oruwari pick. The Lions needed the depth they added at running back and receiver, too, and I can't fault them for taking Nada in the 7th to join Hawkinson. Johnson could eventually replace Damon Harrison, who signed through 2020. Green Bay Packers draft picks: Michigan OLB Rashawn Gary, number 12 overall, Maryland Darnell Savage, number 21 overall, Texas A&M OG Elgton Jenkins, no. 44, Texas A&M T.J. Sternberger, no. 75, Texas A&M to Kingsley Keke, number 150, Toledo CB Catter Holman, number 185, Notre Dame Air Bay Dexter Williams, number 194, TCU Pound Ty Summers, no. 226 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. Gary's production wasn't what you would have liked at Michigan, and his off-field business interest turned off some teams. However, he has great athletic upside as a defender in the Packers scheme. Announced as a linebacker at the draft on Thursday, Gary can play outside or inside and gives consistent effort. Green Bay had an extra first-round pick from a 2018 draft day trade with New Orleans, number 30 overall. The Packers traded up, though, and selected Savage, who fills an immediate need at safety. He will be an effective nickel defender and will pop ball carriers whenever possible. Green Bay finally used an early pick on the offensive line, picking up Jenkins, a strong and long player who played every O-line position for the Bulldogs. Head coach Matt LaFleur needed another tight end, and Sternberger turned out to be a nice value as a receiving threat in the mid-third round. The Packers got a steal in Keke, who could become a starter. Holman was a former walk-on who starred for Toledo. Depth at running back was a big need for Green Bay, so Williams will get a shot to play early. Minnesota Vikings draft picks: NC State C. Garrett Bradbury, number 18 overall, Alabama Taylor Smith, number 50, Boise State Air Bay Alexander Madison, number 102, Oklahoma OG Drew Samia, no. 114, USC Pound Cameron Smith, no. 162, Arkansas DT Armon Watts, number 190, Wyoming S. Marcus Epps, no. 191, Elon Otto Udo, number 193, Texas CB Chris Boyd, no. 217, Oregon WR Dylan Mitchell, no. 239, Colorado State WR Olabisi Johnson, no. 247, Air Force LS Austin Cutting, no. 250 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, B+ overall grade, a draft analysis. Bradbury is athletic and tough, considered one of the best center prospects to be picked in some time. Minnesota's offensive line was in dire need of improvement, so this selection will make quarterback Kirk Cousins and running back Dalvin Cook extremely happy. Smith is a move tight end who is a nice value. He could replace Kyle Rudolph as a receiver and throw his body around as a blocker. Minnesota needs to have a solid backup at running back due to durability concerns with Dalvin Cook, and Madison is a durable power back who can handle those duties. Epps is an athletic safety who likes to hit, something the Vikings needed to add in this draft. Watts is a disruptive guy inside who is just scratching the surface of his potential. They hit the hole again with Udo, a good value in the 6th round. The Spielman residence should be harmonious with a cornerback not being picked until round 6. Boyd was also a good value. Johnson was overshadowed by Preston Williams at Colorado State, but he has a chance to make the Vikings roster. NFC South Atlanta Falcons draft picks: Boston College OG Chris Lindstrom, no. 14 overall, Washington Caleb McGarry, number 31 overall, Ohio State CB Kendall Sheffield, number 111, Charleston to John Kaminsky, number 135, Pittsburgh Air Bay Kadri Allison, no. 152, Washington CB Jordan Miller, no. 172, Louisiana Monroe WR Marcus Green, no. 203 Day 1 grade, B+ Day 2 grade, no picks, no grade. Day 3 grade, overall grade, B+. Draft analysis: Lindstrom will be a decade-long starter in the interior for the Falcons. Surprisingly, GM Thomas Dimitroff did not manage to move up for a defensive tackle like Ed Oliver or Christian Wilkins to meet their top need. Lindstrom is a safe pick and an upgrade over the veteran free agents the team signed, but they could have used another difference-maker on defense. Then they picked McGarry, who I figured Dimitroff was targeting in the top 45 to replace former starting right tackle Ryan Schrader. They gave up a third-round pick, no. 79, and gained a sixth-round pick, no. 203, in this deal, which isn't a terrible price to pay if McGarry protects Matt Ryan as an immediate starter. In the end, they basically copied what Indianapolis did to its offensive line in the 2018 draft. Colts picked Quentin Nelson and Braden Smith. The Falcons had no picks on Friday night. They addressed the cornerback spot with the raw Sheffield and tough-minded Miller. Kaminsky reminds me of former Pro Bowler Jared Allen, who was also a fourth-round pick. Allison is the power back they desired to join Devontae Freeman and Ito Smith, though most expected fellow Pitt Air Bay Darren Hall to be drafted first. Carolina Panthers draft picks: Florida State to Brian Burns, no. 16 overall, Mississippi out Greg Little, number 37, West Virginia QB Will Grier, number 100, Alabama to Christian Miller, number 115, Florida Air B Jordan Scarlett, no. 154, South Carolina not Dennis Daly, no. 212, Georgia WR Terry Godwin, no. 237, Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis: Burns made himself a lot of money by adding weight for the combine. With his explosiveness and bend, adding strength to his frame will help him meet his potential. They met their need for an offensive tackle in the early second round, giving up a third-round selection to move up 10 spots and select Little. He should help protect Cam Newton and Grier, a third-round selection who will likely beat out the team's current backup QBs for a job. Miller is a stiff defender with an injury history, but the Panthers hope he can avoid the training room to reach his potential. Scarlett is a power back who will pair well with Christian McCaffrey. Daly's a swing tackle prospect that the team coveted. Godwin excelled at the East-West Shrine game, which may be more indicative of his talent than his average workout numbers. New Orleans Saints draft pick: Texas A&M's Eric McCoy, number 48 overall, Florida's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, number 105, Rutgers' Saquon Hampton, no. 177, Notre Dame Te'Ali's Mack, no. 231, Idaho Pound Caden Ellis, no. 244 Day 1 grade, C Day 2 grade, B Day 3 grade, overall grade, B draft analysis: It's too early to determine whether edge rusher Marcus Davenport was worthy of giving up this year's first-rounder plus a fifth-round choice last year. There wasn't another pass rusher available in the first round for which the Saints could have waited, but a wide receiver like DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley could have helped the team in 2018 and beyond, and would have cost less draft capital. Davenport must excel as a pass rusher over the next 3 years to make this deal worthwhile. Once again, the Saints traded future draft capital to land a player they wanted when they moved next year's second-round pick as part of the deal to land McCoy. He was a first-round value that they picked in the middle of round 2, and Drew Brees needed a sturdy and smart pivot. Could they have found a center later in the draft without giving up a future second-rounder? Gardner-Johnson is a versatile safety who presented nice value in the early 4th round, so they traded up to get him. Finding talents like Ellis and Mack in the 7th round could pay immediate dividends. Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft picks: LSU Pound Devin White, no. 5 overall, Central Michigan DB Sean Bunting, no. 39, Auburn CB Jamel Dean, number 94, Kentucky's Mike Edwards, number 99, Iowa OLB Anthony Nelson, number 107, Utah K. Metcalf, no. 145, Bowling Green Wr. Scott Miller, no. 208, Missouri DT Terry Beckner Jr., no. 215 CH Day 1 grade, B plus Day 2 grade, Day 3 grade, Coverall grade, C plus Draft analysis. White is a star inside linebacker who will lead the Bucs defense for years to come. Thank you. His talent was not overlooked due to the diminished value that's often placed on this position. If Josh Allen becomes a star pass rusher, though, Tampa Bay fans will wonder what if? Bunting could be a good player for Tampa Bay, but there were other corners of higher value available in the early second round. Dean's film was quite inconsistent, but the team thought his potential on the outside was worthy of a third-round choice. The secondary got more help with Edwards, a starter-quality safety who will compete for playing time sooner than later. However, the Bucs ignored needs at running back, wideout, and offensive line to pick those defensive backs. Nelson will be a starting power end in the NFL for many years. They certainly needed a kicker, though I don't believe Gay is the best in the draft, and I figured they would wait until round 6 or 7 to address the position. The team may see Miller as its new Adam Humphries. Beckner flashes great talent inside. NFC West Arizona Cardinals draft picks, Oklahoma QB Kyler Murray, no. 1 overall, Washington CB Byron Murphy, no. 33 overall, Massachusetts WR Andy Isabella, number 62, Boston College to Zach Allen, number 65, Iowa State WR Hakeem Butler, number 103, Alabama De'Ani Thompson, no. 139, Fresno State WR Kezian Johnson, no. 174, Georgia Lamont Gaillard, number 179, Morgan State Joshua Miles, number 248, Temple DT Michael Daugb, number 249, UCLA Caleb Wilson, no. 254 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. New head coach Cliff Kingsbury decided to bring in his quarterback rather than work with 2018 first-round pick Josh Rosen. I can't blame him. Coaching in the NFL is difficult enough without passing up a quarterback you believe in. Josh Rosen might succeed in Miami, and I hope he does, but taking Murray first overall was the right move for Kingsbury and the Cardinals. Forget about 40 times, Murphy has great ball skills and instincts, and he and Patrick Peterson will make a strong starting cornerback duo on the outside. Moving Rosen for a late second-round pick was fantastic, given the circumstances. Using that pick on Isabella will be questioned in some war rooms, especially with 2018 seconds-rounder Christian Kirk already playing a similar role on the team. Getting Allen in the third was fantastic. He's a Calais Campbell-type bargain who gives his all on every down. The fact that the Larry Fitzgerald era will eventually end forced the team to take advantage of Butler and Johnson as excellent values in the 4th and 6th rounds, respectively. I wasn't as high as many on Thompson, but selecting him in the 5th provides nice value at a position of need. Gaillard was one of the better deals on Saturday. Miles and Daugb are strong and nasty linemen, offensive and defensive, respectively, who I expected to go earlier. Getting Wilson as Mr. Irrelevant was smart, as they needed a tight end, and he would have been coveted as a free agent. Los Angeles Rams draft picks, Washington Taylor Rapp, number 61 overall, Memphis Darrell Henderson, number 70, Michigan CB David Long, number 79, Oklahoma OG Bobby Evans, no. 97, Washington DT Greg Gaines, no. 134, Wisconsin T. David Edwards, number 169, Penn State Nick Scott, number 243, Texas Tech Pound Dakota Allen, no. 251, Day 1 grade, no picks, no grade Day 2 grade, B plus Day 3 grade, overall grade, B plus draft analysis. General manager Lay Snead must have seen all of his first-round prospects come off the board, as the Rams traded back to no. 45 overall, from number 31, so the Falcons could select Caleb McGarry. I like that the Rams picked up a third, no. 79, in addition to the 45th overall pick, In the deal, additional moves took Kelly out of the top 60 selections. Rapp is simply a heady football player who finds his way to the ball despite possessing average athleticism for the position. I suspect he'll be a long-term starter once Eric Weddle retires, or if the veteran can't stay healthy this year. Henderson's size was brought up in the process, but guys had a hard time tackling his compact build. LA needed depth at corner, and Long was a good value in the third round. Evans isn't an elite athlete, but he could be a fair swing tackle, which the Rams need. Gaines is a top-notch nose who won't just stand there on pass plays, quarterbacks will know he's there. Edwards joined Evans to add names to a lean offensive line depth chart. San Francisco 49ers draft picks: Ohio State to Nick Bosa, number 2 overall; South Carolina WR Deebo Samuel, number 36; Baylor WR Jalen Hurd, no. 67, Utah P. Mitch Wishnowsky, no. 110, Arkansas Pound Dre Greenlaw, number 148, Stanford take Hayden Smith, number 176, Vanderbilt taught Justin School, number 183, Virginia CB Tim Harris, no. 198 Day 1 grade, a Day 2 grade, a Day 3 grade, coverall grade, a draft analysis. The 49ers picked the best player in the 2019 NFL Draft in Nick Bosa. Adding him to a D-line that already includes Dee Ford means the Niners will greatly improve their pass rush, as they generated just 37 sacks in 2018, bottom third of the league. Bosa's power comes into play as a pass rusher and run defender, and his career floor comparison is Chris Long. That's pretty good. Samuel's ability to work inside and outside, his toughness, and his strong hands made him a no-brainer pick for the receiver-needy Niners in round 2. Hurd could be a big steal if he continues to grow as a receiver. The selection of 2 wideouts was somewhat expected, given their lack of talent at the position. Wishnowsky was the top punter in the draft, so the Niners picked him up earlier than expected on Saturday. He likely was not the top player available on most teams' boards. Greenlaw brings speed to the team's defense. Smith is a solid tight end to back up George Kittle. Harris suffered through injuries in college but has starter potential. Seattle Seahawks draft picks: TCU to LJ Collier, number 29 overall; Utah DB Marquise Blair, number 47; Mississippi WR Metcalf, number 64; Utah Pound Cody Barton, number 88; West Virginia WR Gary Jennings, no. 120, Wake Forest OG Phil Haynes, no. 124, Oregon CB Ugo Amadi, number 132; Washington Pound Ben Burke-Irvin, number 142; Miami Air Bay Travis Homer, number 204; Florida State DT DeMarcus Christmas, no. 209, Hawaii WR John Ursua, no. 236 Day 1 grade, A Day 2 grade, B Day 3 grade, overall grade, a draft analysis. It was shocking to no one that the Seahawks moved down from the 21st overall selection to get more picks later in the draft, 2 fourth-rounders from Green Bay. With the extra pick they gained by trading edge rusher Frank Clark to the Chiefs, the Seahawks selected Collier, who is a very similar player. Forget about his 4.91 40 time, he'll be a stout run defender and powerful pass rusher. Then, GM John Schneider acquired even more draft capital by trading the 30th overall selection to the Giants for a second, a fourth and a fifth-round pick. The Seahawks apparently did not want to pick early as they moved down again to gain additional picks before selecting their guy at safety, Blair. Metcalf could be an Alshon Jeffrey-type bargain for the Seahawks if he reaches his potential as a big-time downfield playmaker. Teams love the intelligence and athleticism of Barton, and it's not surprising the Seahawks found him intriguing. Jennings is a solid mid-round receiver who bolsters the depth for recently signed Russell Wilson. Haynes jumped up boards with nice workouts after being a sturdy, reliable player for Wake Forest for 4 years. Amadi is as tough and versatile as they come in the secondary, and Burke-Irvin will be a special teams star. Homer is a speedback to complement Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. Follow Chad Reuter on Twitter at Chad_Reuter. Let's block ads. Why?